never really noticed that I had been pretending to be someone else for other people. What's up, peoples? It's been a minute since I had like a little sit-down video. So today, if you can't tell by the title, I'll be talking about why you should not give a fuck about what people think about you. I'm gonna tell you my little story and journey with all of that and my newfound art of not giving a flying fuck. My whole life from like an early age, I was raised to be a people pleaser, right? Okay, don't talk back, do whatever you're told, that kind of thing, which I think a lot of us are raised in that environment. But for me, I was also super sheltered. I had seizures and stuff growing up, so my mom was super protective of me, which I understand, whatever. But she was also, she could be very fun and could be very nice and could be very sweet, but then also she could be very mean and very negative sometimes. And since I was always around her, I started getting these ideas in my head that weren't necessarily mine, but they were hers, if that makes sense. My mom would talk down about herself all the time, like right in front of me, have very negative views on things, and seeing that from like an early age and being my mom, the one person I looked up to the most, like constantly saying those things, I started to feel that way about myself. I remember this one time, and also like I wasn't allowed to like say my opinion to her ever about things without her getting mad. There was this one time we were at dinner and she was saying something. I think I was like eating really fast. I was like still hungry afterwards. She was like, well, you can't eat like that forever, you know, it's a good thing you have high metabolism, because like if you're older and ate like that, you'd be fat. And I know she wasn't like saying it like in a mean way. She was just saying like, you know, you're older, you'll have a higher metabolism, because I was very skinny as a kid, teenager, all this stuff. I was very tiny. So I said something back like, well, you know, I wouldn't care if I was overweight or fat as long as I was happy. And I could tell that pissed her off when I said that. I went home and she literally screamed at me. She's like fucking hit me in the car and stuff because she was so mad that I like said that. And that's not even the only time like I said something like that and she just like got pissed off at me. I wasn't talking back, I was just speaking my opinion about the matter. That happening to me regularly made me feel like I couldn't speak my side or my opinion on what people were telling me from an early age. Being treated like that repeatedly, it made me slowly but surely close out people in a way. I was never shy as a child. Like I was my dad's side of the family would call me spaz because I was so hyper and crazy and blah 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 and like running around stuff. And then as I got older and older, I started losing a bit of that personality inside of myself, because from one perspective I was always told, I'm too much of this, I'm too much, you need to be more of this to fit my expectations of you. And I never really noticed that I had been pretending to be someone else for other people for such a long time until recently, and really sitting with myself and understanding, well, wait a second, why am I having this reaction to things, or why am I not speaking up for myself, or why am I letting someone treat me like this and not saying no, it's not okay, or like remove myself. And it was because I was stuck in this mindset of people's opinions are better than mine. And I guess I just want to make this video because I don't want anyone to ever feel stuck like that, or feel like they have to, you know, be putting on this show for anyone else. Just be you. And if someone doesn't like what you say, who gives a fuck? That's their problem, not yours. If they don't like something you're saying or you're doing or the way you live, that's their problem. Let it be their problem. It says more about them if they're sitting there mad because you said something to them or whatever. Who gives a fuck, really? And I found myself for so long, not necessarily like changing myself massively, but little thing. If I was with a group of people and I maybe like mentioned something and no one acknowledged what I say, I would stop speaking up. I would stop trying to be active in the conversation. Instead, I would turn into just the person there listening. Which I still have a really big problem about that. Like I feel like people meet me a lot of times and they just want to ramble on and talk, and then I never get a word in, which I don't mind doing sometimes, you know. I love being that for someone to listen to, but when it's repeatedly and I can't say anything to that person, I've realized, what am I doing in this situation? I'm people pleasing that person in a way, because even though I want to talk and I want to express myself and I want to be active in the conversation as well, I can't, because I'm sitting here with this person and I'm listening to them, and listening, continuing listening, and it's always about them. which isn't selfish that you want some form of avenue to communicate as well if the other person gets that from you. Everything should be about balance, because if it's not, you're putting that energy in and they're just taking from you. Okay? And that is such a real, at the end of the day, everything is energy. Yes, we see all these things and blah blah blah, but like, in the day, that's all anything is, energy. Any word that comes out of your mouth, energy. Any thought that comes into your head, energy. Any action you do, you're putting energy into that. Literally anything. Because without it, nothing would exist. I think it's very easy to get into the cycle of just wanting to please people, because of course, we are humans. We want people to like us and we want to have people around us and all that. If you have people around you that you can't be fully you around, are they really people that you truly want in your life? Because if you can't be fully you around them, what is the point? I don't think, we're here on this earth in this moment right now to continue to do things that don't feel 100% like you. The whole point of life is to experience it, and fully experience it, you have to be fully conscious and be fully controlling your opinion and actions and all that stuff without worrying about someone's opinion looking over you. That's not to use it as an excuse for someone to go and do shitty things just because, I feel like it. But also, what is shitty if it's not just someone else's definition of it? I don't know. It's a lot of things I've been thinking about. I've also been reading a book about Buddhism, and it's all about living in the moment and looking at everything as a whole rather than just having a reaction to whatever happens. And it's just really eye-opening, because for such a long time I was just so worried about people's reactions, people's viewing of me. What I seemed to forget about was, how am I viewing myself? Am I doing things I truly love every single day? Am I living my purpose that I think that I'm here for? I wasn't. I was trying to fit into this little box of what people wanted me to be, and I wasn't actually being me. I was acting a lot of the time when I was around other people. And I've decided that I'm done doing that. I'm done, making myself smaller to make someone feel bigger. I'm done being someone's, outlet in which they can feel better being around me, but then I'm left feeling drained when they're gone because they sucked all my energy out. I gave them the energy and space to listen and blah blah blah, but then whenever I had anything to say, it was always, oh man, blah blah blah. I think the biggest thing is it's okay to be alone with yourself sometimes, and sometimes it's the best thing that you can do. At least it's been that way for me. For a long time I was so sad and upset, and don't get me wrong, sometimes still I am sad, lonely, whatever, because I don't have that big group of girlfriends. Social media and TV shows and movies and stuff make it seem like that everyone has, this group of tight-knit people that you go and do things with all the time and blah blah blah, and that tight family that you're just so close with and you see every single day. I don't have that, and for a long time I felt so weird because of it. I felt so alone and so isolated, and something's wrong with me because no one wants to be that close with me. But then I realized, in a lot of those relationships, is it everyone that's indeed happy, or is there someone involved in that relationship with that big group of friends that feels unseen, unheard, and they're just sticking around because they're more afraid to be alone and surrounded by people who don't actually care about them? And I started thinking, that was me at one point. And I think that when someone wants to truly be in your life, they will be in your life. You don't have to force that. You don't have to show up to things that you don't want to just because they want you to. It should be mutual. Once you stop giving a fuck about what anyone thinks about you, you can focus on yourself and what you truly want, and then the people you meet along the way and that fully align with you, or maybe don't even align with you, but you learn something from them. I guess I just felt like maybe someone needed to hear that out there. Not everyone's supposed to like you, but that says more about them than about you. Because what bothers them so much for you just existing and being you? That tells me that they're not fully themselves, and therefore they're unhappy. yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you like this video. Peace out.